How's it going, Scaley's Cinema Freak here, and today I'm gonna be reviewing How to Train Your Dragon Thrice.
Hey, what's up, freak? It's Mike here doing the review today.
Oh, okay.
You can stop me.
Okay.
Alright, so I thought the movie was pretty okay. It was actually pretty good. I thought it was basically the premise, like from the trailers, was the same thing as the second movie, but the third movie, which is this one, was actually, in my opinion, better than the second movie. And I think, yeah. What do you think, friendo, or whatever?
Well, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Not maybe quite as good as the first two. The first one I actually really loved. I think it's the first movie I ever saw in 3D. Second one I kind of thought was a little overrated at the time, but I've grown to appreciate it a bit more. And yeah, I really like this franchise, actually. It's actually one of the best animated franchises, and probably actually the second best animated trilogy next to Toy Story.
Right? Yeah, I guess. I mean, but Toy Story's getting a fourth film.
Yeah, so then it'd actually make this the best animated trilogy of all time, right? So, there's gonna be slight spoilers in this, keep in mind. So, anyways, Relic, what did you think?
Well, friendo, don't call me that, and just refer to me.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Anyways, just what did you like about it?
I thought the animation was pretty good, and the textures on everything, especially the dragons, because the dragons are pretty good. I like how the movie didn't suck. Back to you, friend.
Yes, the animation. Oh my god. Oh. Like seeing the hair move. Like it just looks so. Like how do they animate that? Like just all these random things, like the dirt.
Yeah, with the individual hairs.
There's the clouds and like, especially in the dirt. Like just each grain of sand. It's just like.
Yeah.
Why would they even want to do this? It's not like people are actually going to make a big deal about it. So we should probably talk about that main plot first, right? Yeah, so, this guy, Grindelwald, comes to enslave dragons to kill them all, and is going to use Toothless to bring them all together and murder all of them. At least that's what I think. Meanwhile, Hiccup and all the other characters and dragons, they go off to find the hidden world because it's safe because Grindelwald burned the village. Forgot what his place is called. What's it called again?
Berk, I think.
Berk, yeah.
Berk Tree from Minecraft. Okay. Yeah, the plot. Yeah, Gibraltar. I think that's his name. I'm not too sure. He's kind of forgettable. But Gibraltar, he was a villain, and the whole point of him is that he's supposed to be super smart and he's supposed to be determined and trying to get kill Toothless because he's supposed to be the Night Fury killer and he's supposed to kill all of them. But the whole point, I'm pretty sure you saw this in the trailers, if you even watched trailers, they find a Light Fury, even though it should be called a Day Fury, because it's a Night Fury and a Day Fury and whatever. But you meet them, and it's supposed to be a girl, and he's supposed to be a guy. And that's the beginning plot of this of the story shown in the trailers mainly.
All right. Talk about mild spoilers.
Yeah, mild spoilers for the middle of the movie, I guess.
So after the village has been kind of burned, they plan to go to the hidden world and then talk about, stuff and speeches. And yeah, Hiccup makes a Thor Ragnarok speech. Berk is the people, not the place. Something like that. And then they go on a road trip to the island.
Yeah, they find a weird looking island. It's like a wall and really elevated from the ocean. The bad guys ended up coming to the old island, and they're like, "Oh, what happened? Oh, they all left." And then the villain's like, "Oh, it's so good to be here. I missed it," which I guess is supposed to be allude that he used to live there, but that's literally all we get from that part. He put okay. There's supposed to be a comedy when we're like, "Oh, where did they go?" They can't go north because it's too cold. They can't go east because there's only ocean, and they can't go south because they're stupid. And so they must be going, and there's a stupid guy going like east, and he says no, west, and the girl leader is like, oh no, and he's like, oh, I don't care, and they start walking away, and the big old fat guy, the bad guy, is just sitting there like, oh, I thought you said east, is what we're going, and then in the cut scene, and that's it, and then I'll let you continue with it.
Yeah, so then oh yeah, Hiccup's mom is in this movie again, and
I mean, she didn't die in the last movie, unlike his dad.
Too soon.
Oh, there's a lot of his dad's. There's a lot of flashbacks to his dad when he's a little kid.
Oh yeah, because he wanted to find the hidden world and bring like not peace, but to end the war between humans and the dragons. And,
yeah, how it was. I think his dad wanted to like seal it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then somehow the I forgot why, but the main characters and their dragons, they go to the
villain's place to like try to kidnap him, right?
Yeah, right. And
but then they get trapped with the guys that will like killer dragons.
Yeah, and they spit acid or venom.
Yeah, and then I think this is where we find out that they're controlled with their own venom, like where they have like a little leash or something.
And yeah, so they escape except for that one.
Oh yeah, they all escape except for like the girl twin. She's just sitting there like, yeah, he brings that baby with him all over the place, and the fat guy is bringing a little baby dragon with him. It's kind of stupid, but she's just sitting there like, yeah, he brings that baby all over the place, and the villain's like, and the scene ends.
Yeah, and then yeah, she's kidnapped now, and they have to go back for her. But then Hiccup and what's her name? They find the hidden world.
Astrid, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And Toothless and Day Fury, they're also at the hidden world, and they have some time there, but they get caught and they get chased out. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, like a big old dragon finds him, and then I think Toothless like goes like, oh shoot, that's him, and he starts calling off all the dragons. And when the big dragon's about to kill Hiccup and Astrid, I think her name is, he grabs them and screams at the big fat dragon, and they're like, hey you fatty, stop. And then he goes away, and then they go back to his house.
Yeah, and then, so, Grindelwald lets the hot chick go. They go back to the island.
She's not hot.
Shut it. But that was just a trap, so then they followed her because she was an idiot.
Alright, well, in the movie, this is kind of spoilers ahead, like major spoilers about the actual end of the movie. After they find the hidden world, yeah, which is what you could see in the trailers, obviously, Astrid and Hiccup ride, Hiccup rides, I forgot his name, Toothless back, and they all ride together with the Astrid Dragon. When they get back, they kind of talk about how they found it and all that. But then the twin girl comes back and is like, oh hey, they let me go because I annoyed them. And then it's like, wait, did they follow you? And she's like, oh, I never looked back. And then oh, they gotta look out and see if they followed. And they all go around. Toothless is back, and he sees the Light Fury because she followed him back. And then what happened was that the Light Fury gets darted and kidnapped, and then Toothless gets darted and kidnapped.
Gets kidnapped too.
And they get lifted away by the Death Dragons, and Hiccup's like no, and then it's like I took these dragons, and I'm sorry, our little game has to be over. And then they follow them with, and each of the main characters gets a little wingsuit out of the dragon stuff, and so what happens is they all follow them, and they all go on, and they start letting the dragons free. Toothless, because he's the alpha, he starts commanding the dragons to follow him and get in the cages. But then as he's let go, and the whole chaos is unfolding, he yells at them, and they start revolting and like breaking everything, and a whole huge fight start breaking out, and then all this stuff starts happening where everyone's fighting, and eventually the two dragons get freed after Toothless shoots fire at the guy, so preventing him from killing the other dragon, and they each start shooting at, and they each start fighting, but then eventually Toothless gets freed, and so does the Light Fury, and so what happens is that Toothless is like flying, and the bad guy eventually gets hold of the Light Fury while Toothless is fighting everyone, and puts a little leash on him, and puts a little leash on her and it's poison, and so what happens is the poison controls her, and he starts controlling the dragon and forces her to fight in certain ways, and Toothless is following her, and so eventually what happens is that the Toothless uses his super lightning blast attack which he has earlier in the movie and shoots forward and goes through and turns invisible for a little bit, but then he catches up, and then Hiccup goes in the dragon off, and then flying. Okay, and the whole fight happens, They catch him. The hero gets died because he holds on to Toothless' leg and just drops it. The Light Fury saves Hiccup. Toothless is knocked out. He wakes up and he tells them to leave. All the dragons leave with Toothless back to the hidden world, and that's really it. At the end of the movie, he goes back to he finds the hidden world, and Toothless is there. He goes up to him, and then they meet back together, and they all fly around with his kids and all that after they get married.
He has a beard now.
Yeah.
He looks like John Krasinski.
He looks like Jim from The Office from The Quiet Place.
Quiet Place.
No, I said Quiet Place.
Quiet Place. So yeah, that's about it. We said pretty much everything.
The movie was actually pretty good. It had pretty good emotional moments and had pretty good music. The music was definitely a good strong suit in my opinion. It was good. The pasta is spicy meatball, and despite the good movie was a spicy meatball, and it was good in my opinion. I give it was pretty good. What's your and my final thoughts is that it was good. What are your final thoughts?
Yes, I think it's very good. Great animation, and great sequences, just good story. Villain kind of needed a little work, but other than that, it's really good, and I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I give it a 8 out of 10.
Yes.